Hello everyone, it's Tom's story time again. Please listen to the story. If you like it, give me a like and subscribe. Today was my father-in-law's 60th birthday. He had invited many people to the party at the villa. Being busy with work at my new company, I arrived a little late. Unexpectedly, the first thing I saw when I walked in was an absolutely unacceptable sight. My wife, Lu Ruyan, was sitting next to Su Hao, her childhood sweetheart. From my angle, their legs were intertwined beneath the table. Ruyan was wearing the dress and the black stockings that I had bought for her. Her leg was resting squarely on Su Hao's thigh. On the table, they were even drinking cross-cupped wine, a toast to each other. My father-in-law, Lu Dashan, sighed, "I was the one who felt the most regret that you two didn't end up together that year. I watched you grow up, Su Hao, why didn't you try a little harder back then?" Su Hao immediately raised his glass to toast my father-in-law and replied, "That was my fault. I wasn't good enough back then." Just as Su Hao was about to finish the glass of wine, Ruyan quickly stopped him, snatched the glass from his hand, drank it all down and said, "You have stomach problems. Don't drink too much." Hearing that, my heart ached as if someone had stabbed me with a knife. I also have stomach issues. I was even hospitalized for a stomach hemorrhage due to work and stressful negotiations, but Ruyan never cared about me like that. She merely told me indifferently, "If you can't drink, don't force it." And what about Su Hao? He dared to casually slip his hand onto Ruyan's thigh right in front of everyone. She trembled slightly as his hand moved up a little further. Seeing that scene, rage surged through me. I couldn't restrain myself any longer, so I quickly stepped up and pulled Su Hao's hand away from my wife. I asked Ruyan directly, "Are you not ashamed? This is your father's birthday party." Startled by my sudden appearance, Ruyan's face flushed briefly, but she still tried to stay calm. "What nonsense are you talking about? What did we do wrong?" I let out a cold laugh. "Do you want me to say it out loud? Or were you planning to climb onto the table and put on a show for everyone?" Ruyan immediately burst into tears. She retorted, full of resentment, "You are too much. Gu Chong'an, you take out your bad mood from going bankrupt on me all the time. Are you even a man? I'm so miserable for marrying a useless man like you." Bankrupt? Who told her I was bankrupt? Now I understood why she had been treating me so coldly lately. It turned out she thought I was penniless. A fleeting sneer crossed my mind. If she thought so, I would play along with her and see this act through to the end. Years ago, both Su Hao and I pursued Ruyan, but she didn't even glance at him. She quickly agreed to marry me, and at that time, I thought I was the luckiest man in the world. But now, I realized she chose me only because I had money, and upon hearing the news of my bankruptcy, she immediately showed her true colors. My father-in-law, Lu Dashan, looked at me with displeasure. "Gu Chong'an, today is my birthday, not the place for you to cause trouble. If you want to eat, sit down, otherwise get out." I replied coldly, "Why should I leave? This villa is still mine. The person who should leave is not me." I intended to sit down in the empty seat next to Ruyan, but she instantly kicked the chair away. "Get lost. Don't even think about sitting next to me. You're broke now, don't dream of reaching so high." I sat down across from her, clearly watching Su Hao's hand once again slip under the table, which made Ruyan's face flush deep red. Su Hao spoke up, "Ruyan, I just received a notice from the Chongjing Group. Tomorrow, I will start working as a director, with an annual salary of 10 million. Upon hearing this, Ruyan's face turned even redder, her eyes sparkling with excitement. She even had beads of sweat on her forehead from the thrill. I found it ridiculous. The Chongjing Group belongs to me. I wouldn't pay such a high salary to a minor director like him. I immediately messaged my assistant, and after just 1 minute, I received a reply. Su Hao was only a new employee at a subsidiary company, with an annual salary of just 5 million. Without hesitation, I instantly requested that he be fired. My father-in-law raised his glass and said, "Su Hao, I always saw you as someone with a bright future. My Ruyan was not fortunate enough to marry you. I wonder whose daughter is lucky enough to be your wife." Hearing this, Su Hao smiled triumphantly and said, "Uncle, if you just agree, I will marry Ruyan tomorrow." My father-in-law burst into laughter. "Agreed." Lu Dashan laughed heartily and said, "Of course, I agree. I've liked you for a long time, Su Hao." Su Hao showed no sign of shyness. He immediately turned to gently stroke Lu Ruyan's lips and said, "Ruyan, will you marry me? Give me a chance to take care of you and love you." Ruyan was so moved that she couldn't speak, just nodding repeatedly, tears welling up. This scene was exactly like when I proposed to her a few years ago. My father-in-law laughed loudly, filled with excitement. Good. That's wonderful. I'm very happy today. Everyone, raise your glasses to congratulate Lu Ruyan and Su Hao. Everyone eagerly raised their glasses, completely ignoring my presence. Everyone in the family was as happy as if they had just received the best news of their lives. At this moment, Ruyan's elder brother, Lu Zilin, noticed me sitting still in my chair, unmoving. He showed his displeasure. Gu Chong'an, what is your intention? Are you trying to ruin the party? My dad is happy, yet your face looks like a funeral. Your company went bankrupt because you're an idiot, don't take it out on us. My father-in-law also began to show his attitude. Gu Chong'an, did you intentionally come here to cause trouble? Get out. Don't spoil my happy day. I didn't reply, but picked up the glass of wine in front of me and violently threw it to the ground, shattering it. Then, I said coldly, I am still Lu Ruyan's legal husband, yet you people are already rushing to marry her off again. The whole room suddenly fell silent. Everyone was jolted into remembering that Lu Ruyan and I had not yet divorced. Su Hao, with an arrogant demeanor, pointed directly at me and said, get a divorce. Divorce tomorrow. If you don't divorce, you're a coward. I looked at Su Hao and gave a faint smile. Of course, I'll divorce a woman like Lu Ruyan. Gold digging, cheating and adultery. Why would I keep her? Ruyan screamed in anger. Gu Chong'an, if you hadn't used money to pressure me back then, I wouldn't have married you. In my heart, the person I love the most has always been Su Hao. We promised to be together since we were 16. I sneered, I used money to pressure you? Have you forgotten who willingly climbed into my bed after taking drugs? Have you forgotten who knelt down and begged me to have a child? Ruyan's face flushed, this time not from embarrassment, but from fury. She quickly turned to Su Hao, don't listen to his rubbish. He's just trying to tear us apart. It was the same a few years ago, and it's the same now. Su Hao said nothing, he just tightly embraced Ruyan and kissed her passionately right in front of me, then turned to me coldly, Gu Chong'an, you were just a stand-in. Even though you managed to climb into my position, you will forever be mediocre, never respected by others. Finishing his sentence, Su Hao grabbed a glass of liquor and splashed it directly onto me, get lost. No one welcomes you here. The farther away, the better. I stood up, saying nothing, and slowly took off my suit jacket, which was worth over 100 million and now covered in liquor. I felt sickened, the same feeling I had for Lu Ruyan, who had been defiled by another man. Ruyan echoed Su Hao, did you hear him? No one welcomes you here. Get out. I calmly raised my hand and slapped her straight across the face. The strong slap caught her off guard. I slowly rolled up my sleeve and slapped her again. She fell backward, clutching her face and looking at me in astonishment. Gu Chong'an, you dare hit me? I replied coldly, why wouldn't I dare? It would be strange if I didn't hit a loose woman like you. Ruyan went crazy and lunged at me, but I easily caught her arm and pushed her violently toward the dining table. She slammed into the table, scattering all the food everywhere. My father-in-law, Lu Dashan, slammed his hand on the table. Oh my god. Even my birthday can't be peaceful like this. Gu Chong'an, get out of here immediately. I don't want to see you for another minute. Ruyan's elder brother, Lu Zilin, immediately cut in. Dad, we can't let him leave so easily. At least make him pay for this party. Su Hao paid over 10,000 yuan for this entire banquet. Hearing that, I almost burst out laughing. For me, 10,000 yuan was only enough for a normal steak dinner, yet they considered this a lavish banquet. Su Hao chuckled sarcastically. Gu Chong'an, you can't even afford 10,000 yuan? You fought me for Ruyan back then, saying you'd give her a good life, and now what? The more he spoke, the closer he got to me, then he whispered just loud enough for me to hear. Seeing how pathetic you are, I'll let you in on a secret. Ruyan was no longer a virgin when she married you. My mind felt like it had been hit hard. This couldn't be true. I remembered our wedding night very clearly. She had even prepared a white bedsheet and said she wanted me to witness our first time together. Afterward, I saw blood on the sheet, and she hugged me and cried, promising to love me forever. I had once sworn to give Ruyan everything best, sworn to love and protect her for life. Even when we were intimate, I was always extremely gentle, afraid of hurting her. And this is how she repays me. Su Hao continued to gloat. That year, when we had just turned 18, we went into the bathroom together. We looked at a book. You know, the kind of book that makes anyone who looks at it unable to control themselves. Hearing this, I couldn't hold back anymore. I clenched my fist and punched Su Hao directly in the nose. Watching the blood stream from his nose, I felt my anger somewhat relieved. Lu Ruyan screamed and immediately rushed to Su Hao's side. Are you hurt? Stop the bleeding. You have to stop the bleeding right away. But Su Hao showed no fear or pain. Instead, there was defiance in his eyes. Gu Chong'an, I told you long ago, Ruyan will eventually come back to me. Her first time was mine and will forever be mine. Ruyan, with eyes full of worry, meticulously wiped Su Hao's blood. Then, she turned back to look at me with hate. Gu Chong'an, you are too much. If you are incapable, I don't need you anymore. What does hitting Su Hao solve? How is this related to him? I gave a cold laugh, stepped closer, and grabbed Ruyan's chin. Fine. Then let's talk about our wedding night. What was that first time you always spoke of, really? Was it ketchup? Her eyes flashed with panic for a moment, but she immediately regained her composure. What nonsense are you talking about? That was absolutely my first time. I didn't let her continue to make excuses, coldly cutting her off. Then what about that first time in the bathroom with Su Hao? Just how many first times do you have? Ruyan's complexion changed. She turned to look at Su Hao and asked urgently, You told him? Su Hao pulled her behind him and replied, Ruyan, before, you were worried that if he knew, he wouldn't give you money to spend. I understand. But now everything is different. He's bankrupt, he has nothing left to give you. As for me, I can take care of you, provide for you. Why be afraid of him? Tell him. Who was your first time with? Hearing those words, Ruyan no longer looked worried but lifted her head proudly. Gu Chong'an, if you want to know, I'll tell you clearly so you can just give up. She paused for a moment, as if wanting to see my reaction, but I just looked at her coldly and said, keep going. She started to recall, on my 18th birthday, Su Hao pulled me into the bathroom. He showed me a book, and then I quickly turned on the recording feature on my phone. But she stopped again, looking shyly at Su Hao and saying, I can't say it. It's too embarrassing, I can't say it. I let out a faint laugh and turned to Su Hao. You fraud. Su Hao, you're just trying to provoke me, aren't you? But it's useless. I won't divorce her. If I don't, you two will forever just be a pair of sneaking lovers ridiculed by the world. Su Hao was provoked by me and loudly stated, Who says I don't dare to tell? Listen carefully. Your wife, Lu Ruyan, was mine exactly on the day she turned 18. Your wedding night was just a joke. Ha ha. Hilarious, isn't it? Hearing him, I felt choked. My heart was squeezed tight, and my whole body trembled with outrage. Ruyan had staged a massive game that I was completely unaware of. I squeezed the phone tightly in my hand and couldn't stop myself from slapping Lu Ruyan hard across the face again. This was the price for her deceiving me. Ruyan burst into tears, screaming, Brother Dad, aren't you going to throw him out? He hit me like this, and you're not doing anything. My father-in-law, Lu Dashan, furiously roared, Gu Chong'an, get out now. This house will never welcome you again. You've ruined my birthday party. Never say you are my son-in-law on the street again. Don't embarrass me further. Ruyan's brother, Lu Zilin, also dragged me out contemptuously. Get out of my house. Don't let me see your shadow again. Don't dirty our doorstep. I felt incredibly bitter. Before they knew me, this whole family lived in a small, dilapidated house in the countryside. Since Ruyan met me, I bought them a villa, luxury cars, and even helped Lu Zilin find a job. They were once poor, but thanks to me, they became a wealthy family. Yet now, just because they thought I was bankrupt, they immediately turned against me and shunned me. They always loved the rich and despised the poor. Thinking about this, I gave a faint smile and sat down on the sofa. I looked around and said, You people should clarify whose house this is. Lu Dashan pounded the table angrily. Of course, it's my house. You broke man, what right do you have to sit on my expensive sofa? I smirked. Oh, this sofa is indeed expensive, tens of millions. Initially, I thought you were Lu Ruyan's family, so I bought the best of everything for you. But now I realize it was a waste. Giving it to dogs would be better than giving it to you. After saying that, I picked up a knife from the table and stabbed the sofa. The couch was immediately ripped open, leaving a long cut. Lu Dashan was so angry that his beard trembled. What are you doing? Ruining this expensive sofa, can you afford to pay for it? I laughed mockingly. Who should I pay for? Myself. Lu Dashan still hadn't grasped the situation, but Lu Zilin, his son, seemed to understand a little. He pulled his father's arm and whispered, Dad, say less. But Lu Dashan was relentless. Why should I say less? He dares to cause chaos in my house. I'll call the police and have them arrest him right now. Su Hao, standing beside him, chimed in, "That's right, uncle. Call the police to arrest him and make him pay. Look at him now, he's broke, he doesn't have a penny, can he pay for this sofa? Gu Chong'an, do you even have 1 million on you right now?" He sneered and continued, "Today is the uncle's birthday, an important occasion, and you came here empty-handed, truly poverty-stricken." Lu Ruyan stood next to Su Hao mocking me. "Look, Su Hao even brought an expensive bottle of wine worth hundreds of thousands of dong. And you brought nothing." I secretly felt lucky that I was a few minutes late today. Originally, I planned to give Ruyan shares in the new company, the Chongjing Group, but now things were different. I immediately texted my lawyer, asking him to prepare divorce papers with the condition that Ruyan leave empty-handed, based on the prenuptial agreement and the audio evidence I had collected. Lu Dashan still hadn't stopped, attempting to call the police, but Lu Zilin held his arm and said, "Let it go, Dad. He was Ruyan's husband, after all. Don't make things difficult, just tell him to leave." Hearing that, I didn't leave. Instead, I took out a cigar and lit it. Seeing that I wouldn't go, Su Hao scoffed, "Ha, Gu Chong'an, you don't have a home, so you plan to stick around here, huh? Aren't you ashamed? A man who relies on his wife's family, how thick-skinned." I grabbed a glass and threw it directly at his head. Then, I said casually, "You two discussed your first time in the bathroom in front of so many people and didn't feel ashamed. What do I have left to lose that I should feel ashamed?" Su Hao's face turned beet red. He pointed at me, but I didn't bother to reply. I just quietly texted my assistant. 10 minutes later, the assistant brought a stack of documents. He respectfully handed them to me. "Sir, everything is ready." I slowly opened the documents while all eyes were focused on me, especially Lu Ruyan's eyes, full of curiosity. She said, "What trick are you playing now? If you're bankrupt, have some self-respect and start over, don't cling to my family's house." I looked at her and abruptly asked, "Lu Ruyan, you are my wife. I am burdened with billions of debt, shouldn't you share this debt with me?" She immediately screamed, "You're crazy, Gu Chong'an. Why should I take on your debt? Your bankruptcy is your problem, don't drag me into it." Lu Dashan also added, "That's right. Your debt has nothing to do with my daughter." I calmly replied, "We are husband and wife, it means we are in the same boat. Prosperity together, decline together." But Lu Ruyan cut me off, "Dream on. We are husband and wife, but before we got married, I signed a prenuptial agreement with you. Your assets have nothing to do with me, and your debts have even less to do with me." I curled my lips into a faint smile. "Very clever, washing your hands clean. You suggested signing the prenup back then because you were afraid I wouldn't marry you. My mother only agreed to let us marry because of it. After we married, you constantly badgered me for money, even demanding that I cancel that contract. Initially, I had planned to give you shares in the new company before even thinking about canceling that agreement. But I didn't expect you to be this impatient." I stared intently at her. "Lu Ruyan, remember what you just said?" She snorted, leaned on Su Hao's shoulder, her voice full of grievance. "Why weren't you more persistent? If you had come to steal the bride on our wedding day, I would have immediately followed you, and we wouldn't have had to sneak around like this for all these years." Hearing that, I couldn't control my anger. So, all these years, they had never stopped contacting each other. I was the only one publicly deceived, while Su Hao was always lurking in the shadows. I gave a cold laugh and said, "Lu Ruyan, your actions are absolutely unacceptable." Ruyan lunged at me to hit me, but I struck first, slapping her across the face. For a woman who had been cheating for so long, I had no reason to show any respect. Hitting her was not excessive. Then, I quickly opened the document file. Inside were the ownership papers for this villa. I slammed the documents onto the coffee table and said, "Everyone look closely, and then consider who should be leaving this house." Lu Dashan was the first to change color. He immediately picked up the documents, quickly flipping to the page listing the owner's name. After seeing it, he staggered back a few steps, his voice trembling. "No. Impossible. This house is mine. Ruyan bought it for me to live in during my old age." I looked straight into Lu Ruyan's eyes and asked, "You bought it? How much money did you use to buy it?" Ruyan snatched the documents from her father's hand, glanced through them, and threw them back at my face. "I don't care whose name is on the papers. But you once said this house was for my family to live in, so it belongs to my family. Gu Chong'an, you can't go back on your word." I scoffed, "I can't go back on my word? You cheated without shame, so why can't I change my mind? You also know I'm bankrupt, and this villa can be sold for tens of billions. I need that money. So, take your greedy family and leave immediately. If you are not gone within 30 minutes, I will have all your belongings thrown out, leaving nothing behind. They naturally disagreed but couldn't fight me. I immediately called the company's security team to come and clear out their belongings. Ruyan screamed, desperately trying to stop them. No. Don't touch that. I am the homeowner, I don't allow you to do this. But the guards didn't listen to her. They followed my orders because I was the one paying them. Lou Dashan was so angry that he plopped onto the floor, wailing, "My house. My villa. I only got to live here for a few days. I'm not leaving. Absolutely not leaving." I smiled faintly. You have to leave, whether you like it or not. The guards quickly ushered the whole family out. Lu Zilin started pleading, "Gu Chong'an, you and Ruyan were family after all, don't be so heartless." Lu Ruyan, after kneeling before me, immediately looked up and said, "Let's go remarry. Right now." I deliberately leaned down to look at her and replied, "But you just married Su Hao. How can we remarry? Isn't that illegal?" She answered without hesitation, "It's fine. I'll divorce him, and then we'll do it like last time, divorce, and then remarry immediately." She spoke about marriage like that, just a game, without any seriousness or respect. To her, as long as someone had money, that person would become her husband. I pulled my leg back, causing Lu Ruyan to fall to the ground. Su Hao unexpectedly appeared and added a kick. She screamed, "Who dared to kick me?" Lu Ruyan was pinned tightly to the ground, her face pressed against the floor, unable to lift her head. Su Hao held Lu Ruyan down, demanding she explain her actions. Su Hao said, full of indignation, "Lu Ruyan, are you even human? Do you have any shame left? You married me, now you are my wife. So why did you run here and kneel before Gu Chong'an? Why?" Lu Ruyan could only hiss in pain because Su Hao was nearly ripping out her hair. She begged Su Hao to let go so she could explain. But Su Hao became even angrier and yelled, "Explain what? Tell me. I'm listening." Meanwhile, Lu Dashan and Lu Zilin also ran over to pull Su Hao away, but he was like a madman, refusing to let go. Lu Ruyan was nearly missing chunks of hair, crying and screaming, "Why? Why do you want to abandon me again?" Unable to contain her resentment, Lu Ruyan struggled free and slapped Su Hao straight across the face. "That's right, I want to leave you." "So what? You're a liar. You said you had money, that you got a job at the Chongjing Group with a salary of tens of millions a year, but I checked. You are nothing, just a deceitful pauper." She continued to scream, her face flushed. For the past 2 months, the entire Lu Ruyan family has had to live in a small rented room, in difficult conditions. Is this a life for human beings? I used to live in a villa hundreds of square meters large, eating exotic delicacies and imported fruits. And now? I look like a beggar. Tell me, how can I possibly live with you any longer? Su Hao's face turned purple with anger. He gave a cold laugh. "Then why did you come back looking for Gu Chong'an? He's still billions in debt, he's even poorer than me. Do you think you'll go back and live happily with him?" Before I could say anything, Lu Zilin received a phone call. He jumped up excitedly, "Dad, I just got the news. Gu Chong'an isn't bankrupt. In fact, he just restructured his assets. Now he's even richer than before, he just opened an even bigger new company." The whole family rejoiced as if my money were theirs. Lu Ruyan immediately rushed over and hugged me. "Honey, I knew it. You couldn't possibly be bankrupt. This villa is still yours. Then my dad and my brother will move back here to live, and I of course will return to our home too." Lu Dashan was so agitated he nearly fainted. He lightly tapped Lu Ruyan's head. "Why bother packing? We'll just stay here right away." After saying that, he tried to rush into the villa, but I scoffed and signaled. Immediately, my beautiful girlfriend appeared, wearing a gorgeous dress and expensive jewelry. She stepped out, waved her hand, and the security team instantly appeared, quickly driving the entire Lu family out of the gate. Lu Ruyan screamed wildly, struggling, "You be *TCH. Who are you to be in my house? Dare to hook up with my husband? I'll beat you to death." But my girlfriend didn't bother to care, just calmly delivered a sharp slap across Lu Ruyan's face. "Remember this, next time you see him, call him CO Gu." Lu Ruyan still frantically wanted to rush forward and fight. But before she could even get close, she was kicked away by the security guard. Crying and screaming, she yelled, "Gu Chong'an, you tricked me. You tricked me." I stood a distance away, looking at her in that pathetic state. I smiled faintly to myself. I said coldly, I never said I was bankrupt. Who told you I was bankrupt, Lu Ruyan? Actually, that day at your father's birthday party, I was planning to share shares of the new company with you, but you didn't need it. You missed such a good opportunity. I can only feel sorry for you on your behalf. She completely collapsed. Her entire family collapsed. Only Su Hao refused to admit the truth, remaining stubborn. I don't believe it. Gu Chong'an, I don't believe you'll always have smooth sailing. I don't believe you were never bankrupt. I smiled faintly. Believe it or not, it's up to you. Su Hao was still unconvinced. Tell me the name of your new company. If I can look it up, I'll believe it. At this moment, the entire Lu Ruyan family also looked up at me full of suspicion. Maybe he's lying to us, trying to provoke us. I looked straight at Su Hao and said, the Chongjing Group. Sound familiar? Su Hao's face suddenly turned pale. He mumbled, the Chongjing Group. You are the owner of the Chongjing Group. He was stunned for a moment, then suddenly asked, then what about my job? I laughed coldly. You said a salary of tens of millions? Do you think my company would pay that amount to a minor manager? Su Hao lowered his head and laughed bitterly. It's so unfair. This world is so unjust. Why did I try my best, yet I'm still not equal to you just because you're born rich? I didn't bother to explain to people like him. Whether you are born rich or self-made, if you don't strive, you might end up penniless one day. Finally, Lu Ruyan started demanding a divorce from Su Hao because she heard that my girlfriend and I were only dating, not married. She thought she still had a chance to get back with me. But Su Hao absolutely refused to divorce. They argued every day, smashing things in the house. In the end, Su Hao couldn't fight the entire Lu Ruyan family and was beaten to the point of hospitalization. While in the hospital, he called me, Gu Chong'an, I can't continue with Lu Ruyan anymore. I laughed inwardly. He didn't need her, and I had no reason to go back to the person who betrayed me. Lu Ruyan continued to demand a divorce from Su Hao. Finally, Su Hao agreed on the condition that she give him 1 billion yuan. Lu Ruyan joyfully came to me, honey, give me 1 billion. I'll be free from Su Hao, and we can remarry. I just smiled, held up the marriage certificate with my girlfriend, and gently stroked her abdomen. I softly stepped back, letting her understand that I had a new life. Not long after, I received a call from the police, informing me that Lu Ruyan and her family had died in an accident. This surprised me slightly, but I had guessed the culprit. It was Su Hao. When I saw him again, his eyes bloodshot, he said, Lu Ruyan was the source of disaster. She was the root of all trouble. Gu Chong'an, I actually did you a great favor. If it weren't for me, you would still be harassed by her and wearing that cuckold's hat. He was right, but I still had no intention of asking for a reduced sentence for him. In fact, they were all despicable. Not long after, Su Hao was brought to trial and received the penalty stipulated by law. No one came to claim the ashes of the Lu Ruyan family, and the funeral home called me. To avoid causing trouble for the staff, I decided to accept their ashes. But after leaving the door, I decided not to keep them and disposed of them in the most appropriate way, by placing them in the trash can.